The American part of a tribe resides in Somerton, Arizona. The Cocopas. Luckily, they do not face the kind of problems that the Cucapas do in Mexico. Instead, the Cocopas economy relies on the management of companies based on tourism. A tribe that once relied on the navigation along the Colorado River nowadays owns tribal enterprises like a golf course, which is actually located along the same river system, the Colorado. Ironically, the same river of the Cucapas in Mexico is always clean and full of water on the American side. Political interests and abuse from non-Indian people is mainly what nowadays puts a big difference in the economical and territorial situation of both tribes, the Mexican and the American. The Kumeyays from a small village in Mexico are in the midst of a territorial dispute. The owner of an important winery has acquired much of the lands of the Kumeyays by some special arrangements between the company and some members of the tribe.
Aquí nosotros, mira, nosotros ya hemos batallado mucho con este pedazo de tierra. Nosotros sabemos perfectamente que ese pedazo de tierra nos corresponde y él sabe perfectamente que ese terreno es de nosotros. Él compró sus papeles chuecos. Él en la reforma agraria allá en Mexicali se los hicieron a él valer porque él pagó dinero y como dice yo pago hasta que se me ponga enfrente. Así es de que compañero tenga mucho cuidado, si se le pone enfrente usted puede comprarle hasta la risa.
Juan Aguiar is a traditionalist member of the Kumeyays. He has had a hard battle to maintain part of the Kumeyay territory that the winery has tried to occupy.
Y aquí una vez tuvimos nosotros un enfrentamiento como la vez pasada que te dije, ¿no? Que habíamos tenido un enfrentamiento nosotros, yo y mi hermano, veníamos y oímos que andaban por ahí macheteando y venimos nosotros a ver qué había pasado y no andaban metiendo un cerco. Aquí me trajo 5 judiciales de aquí de Francisco Zarco. Y estuvimos alegando ahí y le dije yo que pues que no tenía nada él aquí que ver. Y dijo que iba a traer el presidente del comisariado en ese tiempo, era Andrés Eseña. Le dije, pues tráetelo a ver qué pasa. Y ya vino el chaval. Y aquí dijo, no, ¿sabes? Has tenido acuerdos con nosotros, pero con él no has tenido acuerdos. Cuando tengas el acuerdo con él, pues entonces ya va a ser diferente. Ya el acuerdo que está con nosotros. Total que no convinimos, no coincidimos en las mojoneras y el voto se fue. Hasta ese momento no hemos tenido los problemas y dificultades con este señor aquí.
He has struggled for many years, and now he has a plan to finish that battle, but he will need the support of his brother tribe on the American side. The Kumeyay, who have struggled also for their rights, and who now have the peace that the Kumeyay Indians from Mexico strongly desire.
We do go down there and we visit, and then periodically when there's gatherings up here in these reservations here, the villagers from the Mexico reservations come up. Now granted, they speak Spanish, and there's a little bit of a communication breakdown, but we're able to combine our thoughts and have conversations, and it's been very rewarding to think that after all of these years, is that just because it's an international border, it hasn't deprived the Mexico tribes and the California tribes. It has been a great opportunity for us culturally, historically, to be able to maintain the relationship with the Mexican tribes.
Even though the Mexican tribes and the American tribes still maintain a relationship, in recent years, it has been difficult for some of the Mexican Indians to cross the borderline.
I think one time my sister was telling me that they did, some came across and stopped at my sister's house, and they knew our language, so they said they were from back there, but I don't know where they were going. so I guess they come across, but not anymore, because I haven't seen nobody coming across anymore since they put that fence up. And then, what do you call it? They put more border patrols out there, and I don't see nobody. They used to come and stop by the house for water, or something to eat, and feed them and send them on their way wherever they were going. But they were looking for people that was going to transport them, They were willing to pay $1,000, $2,000. But I wasn't going to do it because I got caught. I would have lost the car and fined $2,500, and less in jail too, probably.
Most of the American and Mexican Indians of the border tribes have a special card that allow them to visit their tribes on the other side of the international division, although it is much harder for the Mexicans to obtain that special permit that the Americans easily get. However, not all the American Indians have had the opportunity of getting to know their relatives on the Mexican side.
Some girl was supposed to turn 15, I think, when they have that, what do you call that? When they turn 15, they celebrate.
You mean in Mexico?
Yeah.
Yes. 15 años.
Yeah, and I guess they do that at the ranch too or something. And he invited me over there, but nobody wanted to go. I didn't know the place anyways. I had to find somebody that knew the place, so I didn't go. And I did really want to go and see the country over there, meet the other people,
In present days, there is a strong issue that prevails on the Kumeyaay of the United States. It is the speaking of the mother tongue. The new generation of Kumeyays in California do not show strong interest on learning the traditional language. Up to these days, on both sides of a border, the language had been taught by the elders of the tribes in the oral modality. But in 1988, in the Binational Reservation in California, the tribe began to work on the first dictionary of the Kumeyaay tongue. Today, organizers, linguists, editors, and conversationalists of the Ipai-A and Tipai-A have worked together to produce a complete document that allows a better lecture of the language to the new generation of Kumeyays. In Mexico, the Autonomous University of Baja California also published a dictionary of Ipai to the Spanish language. One of the main problems associated with the loss of the tongue is that the people who do speak it do not have anyone to practice it in a regular way. Another strong issue that the binational tribes face is related to alcohol and drugs addiction. Problems that were acquired from the modern civilizations and that mostly affect the young population of the tribes. One of the main incident factors towards this modern viciousness is the loss of cultural identity. A problem related to the loss of cultural identity is presented in Arizona with the Tohono O'odham tribe. The alimentation habits of the community has dramatically changed. The traditions of the ancestors that were based on gathering, the hunting, and other activities that implied a physical effort are now substituted by modern jobs and sedentary activities in the big cities. This has driven not only the Tohono O'odham tribe, but many of the binational tribes to a serious problem of diabetes and acculturation.
you had to go get wood, or you had to do water, or you had to tend to those things. And now you're hungry. What do? You get in your car and you drive to the drive-through. They used to have to gather their stuff, and now look, we're overweight. You know, they suffer from hypertension, diabetes, and the social diseases. You know, alcohol, drugs.
However, there are some cases in which the panorama is not completely lost. In the traditional gatherings of the Tohono Dam, some members participate in workshops directed to influence the whole community about the importance of preserving the traditional alimentation, not only for the cultural matter, but also for the concern of the Indians' physical health. In present times, on both sides of a border, the Papagos still practice traditional activities such as the Desert Flowers Gathering, from which the famous Indian baskets are made of. In a small community of Sonora, the Papagos still preserve these kind of traditions. During the summer, the Indians collect fruits of saguaro and pitaya.
Cuando había indígena que sacaban la miel, ya vendían al otro lado la miel de saguaro.
Here, important features of a tribe have disappeared significantly. In these days, the majority of the Papagos in Kitovac work in jobs outside of a community. However, the Kitovac village is a traditional place where the Tohono Dams from both Mexico and United States congregate each year. One of the main activities that keep the Indian traditions alive is the traditional gatherings. Here, costumes like traditional dancing and singings are revitalized. The Indians compete for the best singing, for dancing in the most traditional way. At night, the conventional gaming commences. They make various teams, comprised of young and adult members, which compete through eliminations that can last in certain occasions until morning time. The long games are rejoiced in every round by a series of singings that make this activity more interactive. Unrooted gatherings like weddings, parties, and funerals is where nowadays the Indians utilize their traditional clothes, which design was one time influenced by materials and patterns that the colonizers brought from Europe.
We used to just wear like grass skirts and nothing on top. Just grass skirts, and then when the white man came, they said that was indecent. So we went to this, and we copied that. Yeah, it's cotton, and we got that, I guess, from the people that were here teaching us. And
the Cocopas from Arizona, the Quechans, and Indians like Delmer that belongs to the Havasupais are congregated in this traditional reunion.
The old people used to gather at the store, you know, the main store in the afternoon, like this time. They always talk, you know, they always talk about the people, how the Pies used to be a big tribe, like the Navajos, you know, big tribe. And there was a place that they knew that was there. They used to plant and everything, but as families got bigger and the kids, more kids, and the kids were just getting like debates and fighting, you know. That's how they all separated, I was told by the old people, you know. So a lot of them came in this direction, and a lot of them were taken by other tribes, like kidnapped. They were just taken, you know. But they used to talk about the Mojaves, the Yavapais, and in this area. But they never knew about the name for the Pai-Pais, you know. They just always say towards the ocean, you know.
Only a few decades ago, with the help of the anthropologist Mike Wilkins, they could meet their relative tribe in Mexico. It is a group of Pai-Pais who were also taken to meet the Havasupais in their lands inside the Grand Canyon. These relations among the different tribes generate a strong support between them. The traditional gatherings also operate as a reinforcement of that connection among the Indians. In these ethnic gatherings, the different Indian tribes also commercialize and exhibit their handicrafts to the non-Indian people. The fabrication of traditional crafts is a very important activity for the indigenous tribes. It helps them to remember themselves about their essence, the value of surviving, and keep the beliefs of their ancestors. On both sides of an international border, we find traditional gatherings among the different tribes. Indians from either Mexico or America share scenarios dancing, singing, but also sharing traditional tales with the audience.